let's look at the impact of it on economic growth and job creation. How do you think it will impact the economic growth and job creation in this
I
country?
think I have to first also put my own opinion as far as the passage of the bill is concerned.
Okay.
Right when the bill was submitted to the National Assembly in general, I'm confident that it will be handled professionally for two reasons. One, the Speaker himself is an accountant,
Okay.
very conversant with tax administration and policies and implication to the economy, because that is one. Second, I know quite okay it is done with good intention. You cannot just be trying to rebase the economy, recapitalize the bank, and at the same time also dollarize, make a $1 trillion economy without looking at the sources of revenues. The other component is very significant, and that is why I commend the National Assembly for many reasons. You know, we wanted to make it a political challenge as far as nationhood is concerned, forgetting the fact that those in the assembly, some of them are professionals, and also they employ the services of professionals to look into the details of the provisions of the law. Company income tax from 1961 to the recent development of a digital economy may not be healthy if you are undertaking a major economic reform and to push GDP and also to change the entire structure of the economy for collective prosperity. And that collective prosperity, some of the elements that is pronounced, especially the tax relief to category of income earners, without reform you cannot effect it. So, but how it goes to economic growth, we have to come back to the tax administration itself. The issue of who is chairman and other who is CEO, we should be aware that anywhere distribution or sharing of revenues, collection and sharing is concerned, you don't have to bring political element into it. The only thing is to bring integrity into the appointment of who is to be the chairman and CEO, that has the integrity to be respected, because anywhere where you are having this modernized tax administration capacity, you put the powers in one hand so that the other component of the bill, that the joint tax, will handle any disagreement, and while at the center of the board they are taking major decision guided by law. So economic growth fundamentally, as stressed by W.W. Rostow, is not by changing the atmosphere of sources of revenue, but changing the habit of the collectors and the payers.
Okay.
That's the first thing that we are expecting. So there is a serious job that is underlined for the new revenue service to come in function later this year.
Okay.
First, to educate Nigerians. By educating Nigerians, you educate them sectorally, you educate them at a political level to understand the importance of tax. Because all the argument centered on value-added tax is consumption. And consumption drives productivity. And productivity also translates to economic efficiency. And economic efficiency provides economic growth data. So my submission on this, as an opinion, is the fact that, of course, there is a very serious challenge that is coming, as we highlighted, with the value-added tax. But it is important to understand why people are paying taxes in the first place. They are paying it for their personal development. That's why one good principle of good tax is a principle of a quid pro quo, returns benefit. So whatever people are paying, they are expecting it back. And if it is coming back, it will now ginger their
Especially
efficiency.
back in
Yes.
the area of infrastructure
No,
development.
let me give you the tax relief, for instance. Now, if an individual earning below 800,000 as cited by the law, now the disposable income will increase, and that increase in disposable income will definitely expand his potentials in the market. That is the purchasing power,
yeah.
and that purchasing power will translate to economic efficiency, to the productivity of different sectors of the economy, depending on what individual consumes.
Okay.
So, however, if we put that as a yardstick, then definitely the economic growth of this country will be more pronounced by good utilization of these taxes by the tiers of beneficiaries, the federal, the state and local government, using different formulas as advocated by the bill. Let me give you one challenge that is very, very likely to occur in the sharing based on the modality of population. I think that's the only angle which I look at: who are consumers and what is population. We are speaking the same thing, in my own opinion. Because if you are sharing based on population, you are sharing based, and but the yardstick is probably Indomie as a product is produced somewhere in another state, but the consumers may likely be residing in a different place. So that is only the difference between the population and consumers. That is based on value drivers. But I think we need to put more emphasis on that population as a yardstick of sharing revenue, for two reasons. We need to understand that the state politics, the creation of state, the creation of local government is also tied to number of individuals residing. So this is more of political, but for the consumption pattern is easily determined. Like now, if you talk of consumers of PMS, you cannot compare consumers that are in Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, with consumers that are probably in Zamfara state. So that will give you a picture at which, even if we are to have more efficient economic growth, but we should understand that the fundamentals of the taxes collected is to put them back in infrastructure, social welfare, amenities. That is what will make more pronounced economic growth.